I purchased the Festool OF2200 a while ago, but I have yet to put it through its paces. Over the last few years, the shop has had many tool additions. My vision for my shop was to build it out so that I could tackle any project that I could imagine. The trade-off of such an approach is that the tools still need to be mastered. Sometimes I feel a bit foolish when I have sessions like these where I take the tool, power it up, and have a go to learn how the tool works and feels. I'm not building anything. I'm simply familiarizing myself with the tool's basic features while I imagine what I can do with the tool. When I purchased the OF2200, I also purchased a mill device from Woodpecker Tools. In the past, we had a part of a tree fall across our driveway. The tree was cut up into manageable pieces, and I kept many of the logs to mill up in the future. I have had the wood for a few years now, and only recently obtained a bandsaw capable of helping with milling. I used my Eagle chainsaw to cut off most of the bark, and I attempted to square up the pieces with an old 10-inch Ryobi job site table saw that I no longer own. My research has taught me that unprepared lumber is cheaper than S4S boards, or boards that are surfaced on four sides. It seemed like a good idea to have that capability in my shop. I backed out on the mill jig, but I did end up purchasing the OF2200, as you can see here. I can use this router both in and out of the router table, and I do not have to concern myself with power constraints, as it's a high-end router. That's the reason why I purchased the router. There are so many aspects to woodworking, and I'm excited to continue this journey. Here I'm testing out some of these inexpensive half-inch router bits I got on Amazon. I want to familiarize myself with the different profiles to know which bit to reach for during a project. I've heard woodworkers here on YouTube speak about not using most of the bits that come in these sets, and I'm sure I'll be no different. Regardless, I at least want the experience of using them. This piece of plywood is narrow, so I could not easily set up the router with the guide rail to get straight cuts. My concern is not so much with straight cuts as it is getting a feel for the power and operation of the router. This router differs from my DeWalt router as it has an offset handle placement. As I use the router, I'm learning how to position the router to feel like I have control over what I'm doing. The grip feels unnatural, but I'm sure that it will become second nature with time. Also, the added functionality of the guide rail will offer extra precision when I do not want to risk a freehand cut. This exercise also allows me to get familiar with the bit change workflow. This router has a ratcheting function that makes bit changes convenient, but it does take some getting used to. I have all of Festool's current lineup of routers, and I will be completing exercises like this one to have a greater chance of success when I build a project. This is made possible due to all the old offcuts I have from the past projects. I would love to use every bit of wood for something useful, whether building something physical or building experience. While I continue learning about woodworking, I'm also teaching myself how to be a YouTube creator, exposing me to photography and videography. Videos like this one allow me to familiarize myself with both my tools in the shop and the tools to help me to make video content. It may take time, but I'm confident that I will become serviceable in these areas with persistence. I want to thank everyone who has taken the time to consume even a second of my content. Feel free to leave me any tips or tricks that may help me grow as a woodworker and a content creator on YouTube. Thanks again, and I'll see you in my next video.